All right, let's take you back to this story. So the South African Policing Union has called for the strengthening of crime intelligence, especially in rural communities. Now, this comes after 18 people were shot in Lusikisiki in the Eastern Cape. But Lusikisiki is only one of many rural areas that have fallen prey to crime in the past couple of months. Now, SAPU believes the strengthening of crime intelligence should include the revival and establishment of effective informants networks across communities. We speak now to SAPU spokesperson, Mr. Lesiba Thobakgale. Mr. Thobakgale, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us on this Saturday morning. This is quite the difficult conversation. You know, we've got our reporters outside the homes where the shootings, these horrific shootings, took place. And one of the requests that have been made by the family is that even as they lay their family members to rest, that there be a police presence. You said we need informants networks. But I'm keen to hear your view on how you would characterize policing, particularly in rural communities, and what it actually looks like from your understanding.
Thank you, Naledi, for having us. We just want to say condolences to the families that have lost their loved ones in this regard. And it is quite important for us as an organization to say that the challenges that policing is faced with, what happened in Lusikisiki at Ngobozana village, where 18 people have lost their lives, it is a clear indication that we need to do something in relation to crime. And definitely it is a well-known fact that the criminals who are terrorizing our communities, they live amongst ourselves. They are there within our communities. And us making a call that we need to strengthen crime intelligence, clearly we are pointing out on the fact that the network of informants, it is indeed needed. What happened with these mass killings that we continue to see being reported from time to time, it really means that proactive policing is really not being effective as it speaks, because if indeed there is a network of informants, we will clearly be able to know what is going to happen prior to it happening. Unfortunately, the current state that we are seeing is that in most cases, police, they become reactive after people have been killed, lives have been lost. There's a whole lot of things, there's a whole lot of pain that family members are coming across. There's indeed a loss of life. And that is reactive policing after the fact. But if indeed crime intelligence, it is strengthened, their network in each and every area, being it rural, being it semi-rural, urban areas, semi-urban areas, we could have that network to be expanded. We will clearly be able to win against crime, because the police would know clearly what is going to happen and be able to contain such criminality even before it could happen. So remember, the first pillar of policing, it is crime prevention. One needs to prevent crime. And if they are unable to prevent crime, then being reactive through investigation, that is what follows. It cannot be a norm that only being reactive, it is a way that is being done in terms of policing.
Yeah, you know, I'm actually thinking about the scene that we're seeing outside of the home in Lusikisiki as we speak, right? So let's go back to the original story here. The family comes together to end the mourning period of having lost 2 family members last year who were gunned down. They gather to have that ceremony to close off the mourning period, and there again, they are gunned down. Today again, the family getting itself ready for services where they lay to rest the 18 people that were shot. And they themselves are finding it difficult to go to the place where they're going to be running these rituals, because they're afraid of yet another hit. And now that we've got our reporters on the ground in Lusikisiki, this is what our reporters telling us. As we speak at the moment, there's no police outside that home in Lusikisiki. So the family is unable to go back to lay their family members to rest because they don't feel safe, and there is no policing there. So who do we put that responsibility on? Because as you say, policing is reactive, but our police officers live in our communities, no?
Yeah, Naledi, it is a pity that it is the current state that you're explaining, that the family are fearful. Definitely they should be fearful. If the 18 were slaughtered whilst they were there to indeed go through umsebenzi that speaks to those who lost their lives, who were also killed. So definitely that fear should be there, but definitely the management of SAPS. We know that the National Commissioner has been in Lusikisiki sometime this week, and indeed we hope that they will be able to do something so that they could be able to put those family members at rest so that they can be comfortable with them doing everything that has to be done in relation to their family members. But indeed, we need to make sure it cannot be a norm that should be accepted, that criminals would run amok. And as he speaks now, the reality is those who are responsible for the loss of 18 people have not yet been reported to have been arrested. Definitely those family members, they should be fearful. That is the reality they are faced with. But we need to have a permanent solution that would assist us in making sure that we are increasing quite the network of crime intelligence, because it cannot just be a norm that crime would happen and then thereafter, you know what, we would come and say there would be arrests that would be made, and those arrests, they get to be made, because at the end of the day, lives are indeed lost at that time. So we need to look at proactive measures, and crime intelligence, it is at the center of it all. Without it being strengthened and them having that very strong network in rural areas, because it's not like they have the informants, they have to go look for information out of their areas. They have to go, you know, even way far to get that information. They live within our communities, then they are able to really relay that information clearly to their handlers, and we are able, then that will clearly make the police to be able to arrest those situations before they could even occur, and where in most cases we see the loss of life.
Yeah, and as this family mourns this tragedy, the question, of course, is where are police to protect them even at this time? And I think that's going to be an important theme as they lay their family members to rest. But Lesiba, we really do appreciate your time. Thank you so much for speaking to us there. South African Policing Union spokesperson Lesiba Thobakgale. Share your thoughts on that story at Newzroom 405 is the handle.